You bought yourself a tent and some camping gear. Now your son has a whole different view of the world. Maybe that's what happens when you get to see real stars. Not just the ones in Hollywood. Whatever you imagine. Fiesta Mall.
Hello everyone, Daniel L. Retail here, and today we'll be talking about Fiesta Mall that was located in Mesa, Arizona. I wanted to actually cover and talk about the history and the closure of Fiesta Mall and what happened to the place anyways. With over 150 stores contained with its 1.2 million square feet of retail space. It was pretty much once a thriving and pretty busy mall. However, in the late 1990s, two malls would open up and would pretty much affect and kill the mall itself, and the mall would close permanently and would become abandoned. So let's look at the history of Fiesta Mall and the decline. This is Fiesta Mall. In the early years of the mall, the development that would become Fiesta Mall was announced on October 8, 1970 by officials from the city and Sears Roebuck and Company. The Sears officials said the company would develop the mall, which would include one of the stores, through its subsidiary Hallmark Development Company. The mall was projected to cost around $35 million to $55 million and encompass to 1.2 million to 1.4 million square feet of retail space on 120 acres. Its projected opening was 1973. By 1973, the opening date for what was the time called the Sierra Vista Mall was listed as 1975. Development shifted to Mesa after Hallmark could not secure the land in South Tempe. The first component of the mall to open was the Sears on April 13, 1977. The store replaced the retail's location in downtown Mesa. Fiesta Mall officially opened on October 3, 1979, with Sears, the Broadway, and Goldwater's as its first three anchor stores. The fourth anchor, Diamonds, opened on July 4, 1980. The mall was developed by Hallmark, which at the time of the opening of Fiesta Mall was developing several shopping centers nationwide anchored by Sears retail locations. Fiesta Mall and other large developments in the area such as the Desert Inn Hospital, known as the Banner Desert Medical Center, were facilitated to a great extent by population growth in the Southeast Valley and the construction of the Superstition Freeway. In June 1982, Sears Roebuck and Company sold a 50% stake in the mall to Grosvenor International. The selling price was not disclosed. Under the deal, Hallmark remained as the mall's management firm. Hallmark announced plans in 1985 to grow the mall by nearly 40% from 921,000 to about 1.3 million square feet. Part of the company's $50 million expansion plans included a fifth department store and an expansion to the Sears. In addition, the existing Diamonds would have been converted into mall space and a new Diamonds store built in the three-story addition. Hallmark withdrew plans the following year after several delays due to concerns about traffic and parking from the city and other developers with nearby properties. The Fiesta's owners renovated the mall in 1989, doing away with the orange and brown color scheme of the 1970s and installing skylights. The anchor Goldwater's first became J.W. Robinson's in 1989. Then 4 years later, it became Robinson's May. By the early 1990s, Fiesta Mall was at its success. It was the commercial hub of the East Valley and ranked within the top 15 percentile of regional malls in the nation in sales. A survey conducted by the Arizona Republic and the Phoenix Gazette in 1992 identified the mall as the preferred shopping center for most Valley residents, and in 1993, as many as a dozen companies were vying to purchase Fiesta. L&B Real Estate Council of Dallas, a commercial real estate investment firm, bought the mall for $124 million in 1993 of December, citing continuing robust population growth in the Southeast Valley. The owners announced new plans for a major expansion that again included a fifth anchor store. The General Growth Properties, Inc. acquired Hallmark and all of its malls in December 1995. Fiesta Mall was still gaining the traction, and a lot of people were going to Fiesta Mall a lot. However, things started to change for Fiesta Mall in terms of shrinking customer traffic in the late 1990s when Arizona Mills opened in the neighborhood city of Tempe. Fiesta Mall started showing early signs of trouble and initial decline in shoppers. Fiesta management said the change was short-lived after initial interest in the new mall peaked. Fiesta's management announced in July 2001 that they were searching for a buyer, but it said it had nothing to do with increasing competition from new malls in the area. 1997, mall officials saw when Chandler Fashion Center opened in October 17, 2001, about 8 miles away from Fiesta. The mall suffered its first sustained revenue drop due to a competing mall. In March 2004, a study commissioned by the city and conducted by the International Economic Development Council and the International Council of Shopping Centers said the mall faced significant obstacles as a future competitor in the local retail market. The study reported decreasing sales and difficulty attracting top-tier stores due to increasing competition from newer shopping centers and changing demographics. The study also noted recent increases in crime and gang activity in the intermediate areas surrounding the mall. Despite the mall's challenges, the study's authors reported that sales per square foot remained well above the threshold for reputable malls of $275 or less. According to the Urban Land Institute, the authors also noted that there were almost no vacant spaces in the mall. On April 13, 2004, pop music Avril Lavigne hosted a free concert at Fiesta Mall, drawing about 3,000 people. The concert was seen as a coup for Fiesta, which was responding to changes time by updating its entrances and adding a children's play area. Fiesta Mall was acquired by Westcorp for $135 million in 2004, a time when the center appeared to be showing a significant signs of decline. The Broadway became Macy's in 1996. Then later Macy's moved into the Robinsons May building after the two companies merged in 2006. The period between 2006 and 2008 proved to be in Fiesta Mall's overall decline. In 2006, the mall lost one of its 4 anchors following the merger between Macy's and Robinsons May. The vacated anchor was split into Best Buy and Dick's Sporting Goods. The mall's sales would continue to dwindle following the economic recession and the opening of Mesa Review and Tempe Marketplace in 2007. The space previously occupied by the Broadway and the mall's first Macy's store hosted a Dick's Sporting Goods and a Best Buy in 2007, and that was also being built too. And that's when officially the Dick's Sporting Goods and Best Buy officially opened in 2008 or 2009. Diamonds became Dillard's in 1986 and then later converted to a clearance center in 2009. During this time, reported crime at and around the mall continued to increase. In 2007, Mesa police reported a jump in gang activity at Fiesta. Although mall officials denied there was a rise, police officials said calls for service increased about 71% from 2005 to 2007. Then there was the second crime. On March 31st, 2008, a man stabbed 2 mall patrons, including 1 fatality. Authorities said the suspect had links to gangs and had a history of mental health issues. Police reported a spike in property crimes, including car thefts, from 2007 to 2008. Then yet another crime occurred in January 2012. Police arrested a documented gang member in the beating and attempted robbery of another man near Fiesta Mall. Then the last crime reported on October 1st, 2012, the same year. A woman was robbed at gunpoint at the mall. This was not a good sign for Fiesta Mall. In March of 2013, the mall was appraised at $39.5 million, a 72% decline from its worth in 2004. In September 2013, Westcorp turned over Fiesta Mall to its lenders due to immediate default relating to potential tenancy issues. Then in 2014, Macy's would officially close permanently. It was also sparking fears over the mall's possible demise. Then in 2016, the Dick's Sporting Goods and Best Buy were also officially closed permanently. And in October 2016, there were only 35 businesses that were still operating at the mall, which had more than 100 tenant spaces. In 2017, there was actually a redevelopment that was actually being planned to turn into a medical campus, which was focusing on education and healthcare for community college and for-profit school. And the Eleanor property sold the mall to Dimension Financial and Realty Investments in 2017. Dimension said it was being planned to spend $30 million to convert the property. And on November 2nd, 2017, The Sears would also be closed permanently as well, since it was also filed for bankruptcy too. And the store closed permanently on January 28th, 2018. And there was only about 8 or 7 stores left in the mall. Finally, on January 27th, 2018, Fiesta Mall closed permanently after being open for only 39 years. Except for Dillard's that was still remaining open, the only anchor that was open. Also, at one point, there was also a fixture auction going on at Fiesta Mall, where they were like selling like the old mall kiosk, the sign, and everything that they had inside. But the Dillard's didn't last long, because on the September 28th, 2019, the Dillard's would close its doors permanently, that it would leave the mall with no remaining tenants. And they closed permanently in January of 2020. And Fiesta Mall was sit completely abandoned. Almost quiet. There's just one barbershop here that is apparently still open, and which actually closed either in 2021 or 2022. But it's been here since like, I believe 2018 or 19, which is really surprising that it was open still. Even before the closure of the mall, it still looks kind of brand new on the outside. So Fiesta Mall has been abandoned for at least 4 or 4.5 years, and they were actually planning to redevelop. If you guys heard me say about the redevelop for the Campus 60, well, that never happened. The mall still sits abandoned of today, which is there's no plans of demolition, redevelopment, or plans of anything yet. We'll just have to wait in the future and see. Inside, Fiesta Mall is just nothing but dust. Just some roof damage, water damage, pretty much trash. Vandals have been pretty much breaking in the mall, and been graffiti on the outside as well. And there's also even some boards that's been boarded up, even like from the main entrance, or every anchor is pretty much basically boarded up. Even the parking garage with no lights on or anything. In the day you can see, but at night it's really creepy. Just pretty much pitch black. I have actually explored Fiesta Mall. Well, pretty sure you guys see my video, like 5 or 4 videos of Fiesta Mall, but the inside was pretty eerie and quiet, sort of. And the outside was pretty much gotten worse condition too, after the years passed by. What memories do you guys have at Fiesta Mall? Did you guys ever shop there? Have you guys ever visited the place? Or what? For myself, I actually visited Fiesta Mall when I was a kid. It was my childhood mall. Since it was close to me, we would go to that mall so many times. I would like to hear in the comments section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and yeah, see you guys in the next video. Bye.